Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? It's sad what's happening in Iraq and Syria. It is biblical prophecy. The Babylon prophecy, the land of the Chaldeans, actually, the swath of land through central Iraq and Syria, was prophesied to be overrun by an army from the north. And of course, it has happened as ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, known for their traumatic video beheadings of hostages, including the 2 Japanese hostages in the last few days. But that's not all they do. They go from town to town, city to city, raping and murdering, executing and torturing, crucifying and beheading anything in their path that's not part of their wicked, extreme jihadist movement called the Islamic Caliphate, and their leader, al-Baghdadi, who is orchestrating an assault upon humanity. The records are just coming out by the United Nations, and I would say these are conservative records. At least 1,375 people died in the month of January just in Iraq, not counting Syria, where the fighting and the butchering has gotten even worse. Reuters is reporting that fighting and other violences in Iraq has left 1,375 people dead. Now, 790 of them were civilians, according to the United Nations. 585 were members of the Iraqi army that are dying trying to fight ISIS, which are struggling. I mean, it's the Iraqi army just can't. Look, the United States left all of this armored vehicles and tanks and rockets and rocket launchers and hundreds of thousands of M16 rifles and ammunition and supplies to fund an army. And that's exactly what ISIS is using. Why did we pull out of Iraq without leaving a base there, a footprint, like you do in every war we've ever fought? Why would you just walk off and leave the hardware? You say, well, it costs too much money to ship it back. Then keep it there in the base with about 15,000 U.S. soldiers until the Lord Jesus returns. That's what we're doing in Japan, Germany. It's what we're doing in South Korea. I mean, everywhere we've been, everywhere we have fought, we've left a footprint, except under this current administration. Now, there's also been 2,240 civilians and soldiers that have been wounded as well during this horrific slaughter that's going on. Many Christians have died over the since June of 2014. In the last 6-7 months, it's been an outright slaughter of Christians throughout Iraq and Syria. And we can see that ISIS has got their eyes on Jordan. They've got their eyes on trying to figure out how to take over this very unstable Yemen. They've got their eyes on Lebanon. And they've got their eyes ultimately on Israel and Jerusalem. You can believe this. They're trying to build coalitions with groups like Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Al-Nusra. They want to rule the way. They want to convince these other radical Islamic groups that this is the caliphate prophesied by their ancient text from the Hadith, that the Mahdi, Allah would send the Mahdi, the Mahdi to come, the Muslim Messiah, and to bring a caliphate in the land. Folks, we're living in biblical times now. You're living in biblical end times. The clock is going to strike midnight. He told the bride to watch and pray. For an hour you think not. The Son of Man is coming. But I'm going to ask a question to those of you who aren't saved. You can just stay mesmerized. Stay in your coma while you watch Katy Perry at the halftime of the Super Bowl. Just stay in your Illuminati fog, and you'll die without Christ and be left behind. Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. Don't miss tonight's Sunday Night Live broadcast starts at 7 p.m. Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com.